What's the best example of the Mario and Luigi effect? Nobody seems to understand how the Mario and Luigi effect almost ruined my life. My best friend Adrian had been using me as his wingman since freshman year of college, but I didn't realize I was actually his designated ugly friend until junior year. For those who don't know, the Mario and Luigi effect is the concept that someone as ugly and short as Mario will look more confident and will stand out somewhere next to someone as clumsy and cowardly as Luigi. The thing is, Adrian was objectively good looking with a wolf cut and gym body, but he always insisted on bringing me everywhere. He'd say things like, "Come on bro, you're my rabbit's foot," whenever we went to parties or bars. The pattern was always the same. Adrian would spot a group of girls and drag me over to talk to them. He'd introduce himself with this $1,000,000 smile while I stood there awkwardly holding both our drinks. Within minutes, he'd make some joke about how God gave me good brains instead of good dye while pumping his pecs. The girls would laugh and focus all their attention on him while I became invisible. One night at a house party, Adrian pulled his usual routine with this, as he called her, busty brunette named Jaden and her friends. He positioned me slightly behind him like always and started his whole charming act, but this time he added something new. "This is my boy Elliot. He's super smart, but he gets his pants sticky around pretty girls like you." He laughed and nudged me hard enough that I spilled some soda on my shirt. Jaden looked at me with these piercing green eyes that told me she knew Adrian was full of horse dung. She smiled politely, but kept glancing at me throughout Adrian's monologue about his workout routine or whatever. When he finally paused to breathe, she asked me what I was studying. Before I could answer, Adrian jumped in saying, "Computer stuff. He'll probably make a bunch of money out of college, but he'll have no one to share it with." The worst part was how Adrian would sabotage me whenever a girl showed interest. At another party, a cute redhead started talking to me about a band on my shirt. Adrian immediately swooped in and said, "Elliot's obsessed with weird music. He goes to concerts alone all the time." The girl's face fell, and she excused herself to find her friends. Adrian patted my back and said, "Don't worry, bro, you'll find someone eventually." I started noticing other things too. Adrian would tell me to wear my oldest clothes when we went out. He'd mess up my hair in the car, saying it looked too try-hard when I'd styled it. Once he even convinced me not to get contact lenses because my thick glasses were part of my charm. Looking back, I can't believe how blind I was to what he was doing. Everything changed at Adrian's birthday party at this upscale bar downtown. He invited a bunch of people, including Jaden from the house party weeks earlier. Adrian was in peak form that night, wearing his most expensive outfit and making sure I stood next to him in my faded flannel. He kept making jokes about how I was his project and how he was trying to help me get a date. Jaden arrived looking absolutely stunning in a black dress. Adrian immediately abandoned the girl he was talking to and made a beeline for her. He dragged me along as usual and started his routine. "Jaden, you remember my boy Elliot, right? Still single if you have any desperate friends." He laughed at his own joke while I wanted to disappear into the floor, but Jaden wasn't having it. She looked Adrian dead in the eyes and said, "Why do you always put him down like that?" Adrian's smile faltered for a second before he recovered. He tried to play it off as just joking around between bros. Jaden shook her head and turned to me. "Elliot, you seem really sweet. Want to get some air?" Adrian's face went red as I followed Jaden to the balcony. Outside, she told me she'd been watching us since that first party. She noticed how Adrian used me to make himself look better, how he interrupted me and made cruel jokes at my expense. "You know you're actually really cute, right?" she said. "That whole nerdy thing is attractive to a lot of girls." We talked for an hour about everything from music to our majors. Jaden was studying psychology and had written a paper about people who use the ugly friend effect to boost their own attractiveness, and how she coined the term as the Mario and Luigi effect. She said it shows how those men are fragile, and if more women were aware with it, the more the effect would backfire. I felt like an idiot for not seeing it sooner. When we went back inside, Adrian was waiting by the door looking furious. He pulled me aside and accused me of trying to steal his girl. I told him Jaden was never his, and that I was done being his Luigi. Adrian's voice got louder as he ranted about how I owed him for all the times he brought me out, how I should be grateful for the attention. That's when Jaden stepped in. She announced to everyone within earshot exactly what Adrian had been doing, how he used me to look better by comparison, how he sabotaged any chance I had with girls, how pathetic it was that he needed to tear down his best friend to feel good about himself just because he had a hidden third nipple. The entire bar went quiet and people started laughing at Adrian. Adrian stormed out and slammed the door like a 6-foot baby. Jaden took my hand and we left together. We've been dating for 6 months now and she still laughs about Adrian getting gagged. Turns out I wasn't ugly at all. I just needed to stop standing in someone else's shadow so people would see me. Adrian tried reaching out a few times, but I ignored him. Now his new girlfriend looks like a Goomba.